Hi guys, DM Fitness and Performance here. So it's 6 days since I tore my ATFL in my foot, and I just thought it'd help to do a bit of a video log and to explain the stages of soft tissue recovery, just so if it happens to anyone else you can return to training or to sport as quickly as possible. So the first stage of recovery is the immobilisation phase, and the aim of this is to reduce swelling and to protect the injured ligaments. So you follow the RICE protocols: rest, ice, compression, elevation. The length of this phase is going to be dependent on the injury. So if you've torn your ACL, it's going to be quite long. But the shorter we can make it, the better. And that will lead to less muscle atrophy, less muscle wastage. Especially in the ankles, because there's a correlation between the quicker you can get back walking normally with the quicker you can return to sport. So a lot of people go into this phase, they're not very active, so they decide to cut the diet, cut the calories because they're worried about gaining fat. But this is going to lead to catabolism, slower protein synthesis, and more muscle atrophy. So it's counterproductive to what you want. And with myself, I was quite strict on this this phase, and I've noticed an amazing difference in the first 48 hours. I can walk relatively pain-free now. It's only when I start to get complacent, like I'll do a sharp turn or I'll hit a step wrong and hit a funny angle. That's when I notice the pain. So I notice it's still there. So good luck. Thank you for listening.